Dude, did you know you can subscribe to onlywrestlers.com and keep in touch with your favorite wrestlers? The party never has to end.
This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed, and you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
All right. What is up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo, and it is time for One of a Kind. One of a Kind with not just one person, but who is it? It's with RVD. And we also have Mr. D-Von Dudley. So it's two of a kind tonight. How's it going, D-Von? Good to have you here on the show, man.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of this show. And, again, big ups to Rob for being on my podcast last week and in Indianapolis. Thank you very much. It was only fitting that I come and be on his. And, man, I wish I was doing what you're doing right now, Rob.
I like it when people start a sentence with again, and it's the first time they said it.
Listen, I'm a big fan of yours.
Again, it's awesome having you on here. Man, so cool. Yeah, that was fun, dude. D-Von's got his own show, and he's already killing it in the numbers. If you haven't seen his show, I talked to his producer for a while, and he believes it's because of how what they do is so different. So check it out, because they're hitting it from a different angle the way they're bringing it to you, and something's working. That's for damn sure. So
thank God for that.
Yeah,
it's very impressive. I was speaking with D-Von a little bit beforehand too, and amazing. It was really cool. You'll just have a select few videos up right now, but it's catching fire already, and you got some great content on there. So it's been good stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. I mean, I've only been up about a month and maybe a week, and I'm already at 94,000 subscribers. It's freaking incredible, and I couldn't be happier.
Man,
is that all on one platform or different, or do you have like different platforms that you do? Is it just YouTube, or are they on like some of the other platforms? Do you know?
No, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, it's one platform.
It's just one YouTube channel, Rob. It's like if you go to his page, that's all where all the subscribers are. It's like like he said, like 90-something thousand.
Yeah, I figured he had that many there but I didn't know if he was also on.
Like a different,
no.
Most people.
And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I know nothing about this YouTube stuff. So when I think it was like the first week and a half, we were like at 30. And my writers and producers called me and they said, D-Von, I cannot believe we're that far. I was like, oh, okay, is that good?
Is that
good? Yeah, I had no idea, because I don't know anything about this. And it was one of those things. I was at an autograph signing. And the gentleman that does the podcast with me, his name is Nick. Nick came to me asking for an autograph, actually, at the autograph signing. So I signed in, and he was like, hey, are you interested in doing a YouTube channel? And I just went, here we go. Somebody who's trying to convince me to do something, and, it ain't going to pan out to be anything. Because, and Rob would tell you, we get so many people that come to us with these business options and business ideas, and 99% of them don't work, or they don't follow through with it. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought this was. So he gave me his business card, and I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. I put it on the table, didn't pay it no mind. So it must have fell on the floor. So when the autograph signing was over, I get up to leave. And somebody that was the handler that was helping me said, D-Von, you want this? And I go, what is it? They go, it's a gentleman named Nick and YouTube channel. I was like, oh, that guy. I was like, I don't care.
That was the universe fucking looking out for.
It really was, because I threw it back down on the table. I told Nick that I was walking out, and something kept nudging me, going, "Do it. Go back and get the card and do it." And I was like, I don't want to walk back. My legs hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurt, I hurt. I was like, I don't want to go back all the way over there and get it.
My
And
meat
no
hurt.
matter what, yeah, everything. And it was like so loud in my head. And I was like, what the hell? If you don't stop and go get it, this is not gonna work, and it's gonna haunt you for a while. So just go back and get it. So I was like, F it. I was like, come on, knees, let's go back. I went, I went back to get it. I got to my hotel room. I called Nick and I said, are you really interested about doing this YouTube channel? He goes, absolutely. Started giving me ideas. I said, whoa. I said, my brain is not ready for all of this yet. I was like, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I'm hungry. I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. I was like, let's talk another time. Hungry. I was like, let's talk another time. And he goes, all right. So he calls me and I sit there and I go, I'm like listening to him talk all these ideas. I'm like, yeah. All right. Listen, man. Listen, I'll talk to you later, and we'll talk next week. All right. He was like, okay, D-Von. I was like, yeah. All right. Bye, Nick. On the phone, and something said, "You're an idiot. Please listen to what this man has to say."
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him up. I said, "Hey, you want to talk?" And he goes, yeah. He was like, can you have time? I was like, yeah. We started talking. Next thing you know, he came out to the wrestling school that I have in Winter Park. And him and his friend Mike, they're partners. They came in and they started help. They had all this equipment. I was like, what the hell are you going to do with all of this? He goes, I'm going to set it up in your school. I was like, oh, come on. I'm like all being whatever. And the next thing you know, I walk out to go get something to eat. I come back and it just looks fantastic. And I'm just like, what the hell? And I'm like, you guys are serious. I was not playing. And next thing, and they just started taking off from there.
Wow, that's awesome. What a story. Jeez.
Yeah.
Man,
so like Rob said, somebody in the universe was telling me, don't be a jerk. You're going to miss opportunity.
That's it. That's a thing too, is like sometimes, you get, I'm sure how many people make those pitches to you, and everything like that. And you get that. It's like, all right, yeah, okay, we'll get to it. Or, is this really going to work? And sure enough, right. That's sometimes you find those diamonds in the rough like that.
Yeah, I totally thought Cameo was going to be one of those. It was Shad Gaspar was pitching it to me at a Comic-Con in LA. And I was like, yeah, I'm familiar with the thing because I use Celebrity Voice Memo, whatever it was called from the UK. And that I think that was the one. And then there was Menmo and there's all these other ones. And they were like, no, this one is going to be like cool. Like they're going to make it so like everyone's doing it. And it's like, all right, man. Yeah, I'll sign up for it and see what's up. And then, now it's like everybody knows what they don't even know what the real word cameo means anymore. They just know
right.
It's true too. It's very true.
Worse is when people only have an idea and they don't have a business plan or anything, and they just assume
nothing.
They just assume because we're high profile that we know people. So they'll just be like, dude, I got a great idea for a movie. I'm like, stop.
Come on. Yeah. Come to me with a plan and something set in place.
Financing and everything set up.
That bank kind of thing, man. But that's great stuff, guys. We're live, so if you have some questions, you can feel free to use the super chat and get them in. We got some of our regulars in here. Maddie's in here, gives a shout out. Happy to see D-Von in here. He says, as much as we love Boy, it's good to hear from D-Von. So good stuff.
Maddie, I need your address. I was going to the post office to mail the action figure that you bought on Only Wrestlers, and I couldn't find your address. So I don't think you gave it to me, or if you did, I lost it. So send it to me again in the messages, and I'll mail that out to you tomorrow. And I also just wanted to mention, because I looked here I was looking on the comments here, and Frankie Chorizo says,
yes.
He says, damn, when I super chatted last time, the one man gang threw out the special brace I meant he was supposed to wear, but didn't. That's totally how I took that. And I think I heard that before too, that, see, the story was, D-Von, it was an ECW show. Remember that when One Man Gang was there for a while? With
I
us?
remember that. Yeah.
With Rod Price.
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I knocked him out. I don't know if you remember that or if you even knew about it, but I knocked him out one time and he collapsed, broke his tibia bone when he fell on it. And then he had to go straight to a Japan tour after our show. And then next thing you know, like, boom, he disappeared from wrestling. And I always felt bad for years. Like, I ended his career. And when I talked to him, he said, you know, his leg didn't heal right because he never got it fixed. He had to go, he said his story was that Paul Heyman gave him an address to a doctor that was open late, and when he got there, it was a fake address, and there was nothing there.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. And then he said he duct taped it, you know, so that he could walk on it to make his flight or whatever. And then, you know, when this fan said he had a brace but threw it out instead of using it, and so he didn't let it heal properly. That's totally how I took that.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
Well,
geez.
you know, Rob, and I'm sure you can attest to this. You know, back in the
Testify.
day, my brother, when you know, back then when we got hurt, we didn't take time off. We shunned the hospitals. We're going to see the doctor because it was called being tough. You know,
Right.
you didn't show vulnerability, and a lot of us are paying the price for that now because we did not go to the doctor and take care of it the way it should have been taken care of. We were supposedly tough guys, you know.
Well,
And like I
fair
said,
enough, but would we have the respect that we have today if we hadn't gone through those times the way we did?
I mean, it definitely put us on the map as being very tough individuals that can take pain like that and continue to go. My old ass can't do that no more. I get hit. Listen, I get a paper cut and I'm crying for days.
Yeah, but always, like, my guideline was always, if I can work, I'm not hurt. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
if I'm so bad that I can't work, like when I broke my whatever I did, my ACL, when I tore my ACL and all that, I couldn't work. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I had to tap out on that one and admit, yeah, okay, you could call me hurt for a minute, you know. But I still, in my mind though, I still, even though, like, I remember after the surgery and everything, when I was on crutches and my knee was, you know, just a few weeks into healing, so it was pretty weak, but because I had the ACL and the meniscus repair. But I remember one time, I've talked about David DeFalco before. He was a movie producer, super annoying friend of mine that would always get on my nerves and always, you know, but he always thought he was a tough guy, and the other movie producers put him over. And then when he'd try that around me, I'd be like, dude, stop. You know, like, I already know you. I already know you're going to cry if I give you a chop. So stop. And anyway, I remember one time I was on the crutches and I was over his house and he was like, well, at least now I know I could take you. And I was like shocked. I was like, you think I can't fight just because I have a bum knee? Like, I couldn't believe that he thought that, you know. Like, I was like, it wasn't just an ego thing. I was actually shocked because I didn't see it that way. I thought, I'm going to try to avoid hurting my knee because it would, you know, take longer to heal if I fuck it up right now. But if I had to, you know, I could totally you know, beat this guy's ass and end it real quick at the sacrifice of my knee if I had to. So I was just completely shocked that he even thought that way. And he was like, well, at least now I know I could take you. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you know, because of your knee. It's like, oh my God, dude. I don't want him to try it. But no way.
You gotta love people like that. You gotta love people like that. Or Rob, I got one for you. I don't want to say any names or anything, but when I say this, you might understand. I know you'll probably remember. Which hand, left or right?
That doesn't ring a bell.
And the thing about it was, I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Everyone who was there has a different story. That's what I love.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the building because I had gotten to the building early.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever, because I'm always late. Even going to wrestling, man, I was always late. But this day I got there early. And I put my stuff down and I went out. I went back towards the ring because I was going to stretch because I normally stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And something said, I said, oh man, I forgot my phone. Let me go back and get it. And I went back to the back, and that was when the chaos happened. Because I was puzzled. When I heard which hand, I go, did he get hurt? Like, did he break a finger or something last night in the match? I didn't know what was going on. Again, I ain't gonna get into that, but I just laugh at that all the time. Every time I think about that.
Well, we covered that pretty early in the show too.
For the record, it's pick a hand. And
pick a hand, yeah.
Pick a hand.
I heard so many people tell different stories. The one that Sabu tells doesn't even make sense because he says that I went up to him and said, pick a hand. And he went, that one. And then I went, pick another hand. And he went, okay, that one. And then I went the second time, like, come on, does that really make sense? Like he would pick a second one.
Yeah, like after he got smacked.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What the heck? D-Von, we had a good question from one of our fans in here. He asked Rob this too, because you were just talking about being hurt and stuff. Rob, the most painful bumps you've taken, D-Von too. What's some of the most painful bumps that really stand out to you?
Well, I think for me, the one would have to be the TLC bump at SummerSlam when I was hanging 15 to 20 feet up in the air. And when I let go, after Jeff kicked the freaking crap out of me, I think hitting that mat was probably one of the most painful bumps I had ever taken. Not to mention when Sandman in Trenton, New Jersey slams me down, takes a wooden ladder, shoves it on my chest, goes outside of the ring on the apron and does a tope over the top rope onto the ladder, which is on my chest, and tore my pec muscle. Yeah, we're only 4 minutes into the match. We got 25 minutes to go, and I'm in that ring because I've never torn up anything in my life at that point. So I just know I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Very bad, and I had no idea what was going on. And the adrenaline is going through my body. I'm bleeding like a stuffed pig. Sandman took a cheese grater, went across my forehead, and Dreamer's just whacking the crap out of me with the freaking kendo stick. And I'm sitting there going, "Stop! I'm hurt. I'm hurt." And then Sandman thinks I'm working. He goes, "You're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be hurt. F you, Dudleys." And I just went, "No, I'm for real. I'm hurt. Stop. And Sandman just wasn't listening. Yeah, he was just in complete character the whole time. He never came out. To this day, I don't even think he believes I was hurt.
He's like, "Sure you were."
Yeah, but I had to finish the match. I couldn't stop or what have you, or just lay there. My biggest thing was I never wanted the fans to notice when I was hurt. For real. I never wanted to show that vulnerability. And it was something that I was very proud of in my 33-year career, that I was able to hide it a lot. There was sometimes I couldn't hide it, but the majority of pain that I was feeling, I was able to hide.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive for you guys. Like that's just another level, like of kind of like just getting used to the bumps and doing that week in, week out, day in, day out. Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
I think also, we really believed that the physicality that we were going through was great for the business, for the integrity of our jobs, and what we wanted people to take away from our product and our efforts. So
absolutely,
I loved having, like, one time for some reason I had a black eye at my wedding. What was that from?
It was by accident. I got a little too close. My spinning elbow that I do. I remember I jumped a little bit too late. So by the time Rob got to me off the rope after whipping him in, I jumped up too late and my elbow caught him right in the corner of his eye and busted him wide open. I just felt so bad. And I remember him in the back after the match was over and he's getting stitched up, and I was like, "Rob, I am so sorry." Because I knew he had his wedding the next day. And he had to take wedding pictures and all that. And I felt like crap. I'm like, "Rob, I'm so sorry." Meanwhile, the doctor is sewing him up, sticking the needle in the cut so they can numb it. And he's just like, He's like, no problem, D-Von. Don't worry about it. He's like, it's all right. Don't worry. I was like, no, Rob, I'm real sorry. He goes, D-Von, don't worry about it. It happens. Accident
What are you gonna
happens.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went, okay, I'm glad you're saying that because I'm about to throw up right now because that needle's in your eye and I can't take
I'm
that.
freaked out.
You know I
Yeah,
had
I'm
a
freaked
receipt
out.
waiting for you next time I saw your ass in the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah. But that
Also,
was that
for
thing.
my point to that, I never minded having like black eyes and like bruises and shit. Like I always felt
Right.
like I was representing, felt like I looked more like a fighter or whatever. Busted lip,
Yeah.
like shit like that. I was always kind of proud of those. I mean,
Yeah.
aside from taking wedding pictures, but in general though, if I went too long having a clean face, I felt like, man, I must not be working hard enough.
It's good.
Well, the great thing about it is I love that about us in ECW. We beat the crap out of each other. We chairs, you name it. Axel Rodden taking a pizza cutter across my forehead. And I remember him saying, D-Von, don't worry about it. It's dull. And I was like, okay, great. I was like, let me see it. So I
Yeah.
look at it, and I'm like carefully, on my arm, I'm just like this with it, and it is dull. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, great. So we get in the ring. And the cheese grater, I mean the pizza cutter comes out, and he snap-mares me, holds me over, and then takes the pizza grater and starts going across my forehead. And as he starts going across, I go, wait a minute, that hurts. That hurt. I'm feeling pain. What the hell is going on? The blood is coming down my face, and it's just spewing out. And I go, Axel, you dumb son of a bitch. I go, you're cutting me for real. I thought you said this shit was dull. He goes, and it was dull. And we found out that there was two. The dull one, they thought they put it in the bag of goodies is what we used to call the weapons, but they didn't. They put the real one inside the bag. So Axel thought he was actually cutting me with the dull one when he was actually cutting my forehead.
D-Von, how many slices do you want?
Yeah, good
Hey,
God.
that's how people get shot on movie sets,
Yeah, right.
But they took crazy glue, put it in there, which was the old, school way of closing up your cut. They put crazy glue, and I had that in there for about, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks, because it was really deep.
Yeah, I believe that. Holy shit, that's fucking.
Did it scar?
Yeah, just a little,
Okay.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
I've crazy glued some stuff that completely you can't see anymore. And I had to fight with the EMTs about, I don't want to get stitches. I don't need it. I can close this. And they're like, Rob, come on, bro. You need stitches. That is huge. And I'm like, no, it's not. Watch. And if you can squeeze it together and then it goes away, then all you gotta do is put glue like where the extra skin is pushed together so it doesn't get inside.
Exactly.
Boom. And a lot of times a scar even goes away. It's amazing. But everybody's so quick to get stitches. I remember one time in TNA, the one time that Jennifer appeared and helped me fight Brian Cage. But I busted him open somehow. I think he hit the guardrail in his, I think it was his lip. Anyway, me and Dreamer were telling him afterwards to use super glue, and the EMT was saying, that he would rather stitch it. And Brian was on the fence, and he kept saying, dude, I mean, it's up to you, but getting stitched sucks. You're gonna have to get looked at and shit like that. It's gonna take a while, and then you're gonna have to get them taken out later, and it's unnecessary because super glue do the exact same thing. And even the EMT was saying, well, some people do that, but I can't.
Well, yeah, he's got a point.
I can't recommend it. Yeah. That's what Sabu is the one that introduced it, I think, to all of us, as far as I know, back in these days. And when as soon as the EMTs back then said that he's right and that they use something real similar, then I was like, okay, I'm in.
Wow. Right.
Yeah. But Sabu sometimes he'd be like, he was like the Sheik, like so much in character. Sometimes, like I remember, I'd be in a dressing room and I'd be sitting there while the EMTs are looking at me. They just have a flashlight and they're just looking at me. And Sabu would literally like come by and like push them like he's doing a promo. Like get away from him, get away from him. Like Rob, you don't need them. You don't need them. I got you. And shit like that was going on for real. And I was like, man, they're gonna sue. You can't be pushing these people around like that. But after reading Todd Gordon's book, they were really more the boys than I ever realized.
How about that?
Wow. Yeah.
2025, new year, new you. And hey, there's no better way to start things off and kind of take it easy, but kind of amp things a little bit up with Via. Yes, let's be real. 2025 is all about change. Whether it's work, personal stuff, or just the daily grind, it can be hard to keep up. But here's the deal. When things get hectic, we don't have to go through it alone. Embrace the power of nature and elevate your everyday with Via. Via is well renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops. All crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from the trusted, independently owned American farms. And best part, Via is legally shipped to nearly all states in the United States in a discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. So if you're 21 plus, check out our link to Via's website link in our description and use code RVD. That's RVD for 15% off. And if you're new to Via, you get a free gift of your choice. Plus, I got to mention too, my favorite, I love the Flow State. That's just the THC. That's the non-THC one. That's the CBD. And that really gets you focused and gets you in a good state of mind if you got some work to do and work to catch up on. But if I am doing the THC, I like to do the Elevate. Both are my two top favorite gummies to use, and the flower is great too. There's plenty of different options you can check out. Some that can help you take it easy and relax, and other ones that can get you really focused and everything like that, just like the Flow State and the Elevate. So those are my big talking points of all of that, I think. My big takeaways from it. So if you're 21 plus, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code RVD to receive 15% off. And like I said, if you're new to Via, you get a free gift of your choice. After your purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that One of a Kind with RVD sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via. Jeez. What is I going to show too? Oh, Kyle Z says they did that in World War II, I guess. Maybe crazy glue for packing up.
I believe it. I mean, back then, think about it. They don't have the medical stuff that they do now when you go to war, for your country compared to back then in World War II. Everything was ancient back then. And so I believe they probably used crazy glue for it. Absolutely, yeah. I think.
That doesn't seem, that's that all surprising, actually.
Yeah, if it's an option, I'll always choose that. It's so easy, and then boom, you're done with it. And like I said, it sucks getting stitched, especially like around the eyes or anywhere really. When I had my eyelid stitched, that was bad. I had to get 7 stitches on my eyelid.
Yeah.
And then go out and wrestle the Dudleys in a handicap match. And I had wrapped around my head and had to wrestle
67. Yeah. I remember that.
I got stitched. I couldn't super glue my eyelid.
You couldn't do that. That wouldn't work that well, maybe. Maddie has a question for you, D-Von. He's asked, who was the better in the manager role? Was it Spike or Stacey?
Oh, absolutely, Stacey. No doubt about it. I mean, Stacey Keibler was the Duchess of Dudleyville, Right? She was excellent to work with. She was a trooper. Anything that Bub and I wanted to do with her, she did it. And no complaints, no nothing. I love Stacey dearly and miss the times that the three of us had. We traveled together, we ate together, we were real like brother and sister team. We really were. It was great being with Stacey.
She was a cool addition to you guys, like something that was different from what obviously you guys had in the past and everything like that. So incorporating her in there was pretty cool.
I remember when Bubba first found out that we were going to be with her, he was like, no, we don't need her.
Really?
No, we don't need her. Because Bubba, he liked the team, but we didn't know what Stacey Keibler would bring to us. Stacey really helped us out a lot in a lot of instances. So, it was great because, of course, the fans came to see us, but when they saw Stacey come out, they went crazy.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Yeah. I thought you were going to say when Bubba found out, he said, buh, 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 buh.
He did that too when he saw her.
Right.
Hey, yeah, Spike's really cool, but he doesn't look the same in a little skirt.
Does it? Yeah, if I gotta pick
Yeah,
Spike
it
or
doesn't
Stacey,
get
it
the
would be
same vibe.
Stacey.
Look
Yep.
at this.
You got to think. Stacey went from the Dudleys to Test, and then
Mhm.
Rooney. So it's quite the tandem there you got going.
Well, we opened the door for her and let her come in, and then after she left us, she went, like you said, to Test and everybody. It was, like I said, it was a great time back then, and Rob was there. He can vouch for it. I'm not knocking today's wrestling,
Mhm.
but if you don't, if you weren't there during the ECW time, if you weren't there during the Attitude Era, then you'll never know that frenzy that the pro wrestling business was in at that time. It was something special that I feel will never ever be done again. And the reason why this generation is where they are today is because of guys like us. What we did, we put our bodies and lives on the line. We saw each other more than we saw our own families, you know. And we were on the road 300 days out of the year, and it was something that was very hard, you know, but we did it. And testimony today is like, we survived the gauntlet, so to speak. Not too many people can say they had.
It's true. It's very true. Like, yeah, we talk about that a lot too. A lot of the guys that you lost along the way and everything. And
Right.
yeah, to kind of go through that gauntlet of it all is a very, very tough. And in that, how hot that product was at the time too. And like, it's certainly a different kind of heat the product is getting nowadays with the global reach of WWE and stuff like that. But if you look at those few years, like in the mid to late '90s and everything like that,
Hmm.
it's,
I
you
mean,
could not
the
forget.
money that these guys are making now is really good.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm very happy for those guys. Don't get us wrong, we made great money too, but the money that's being made now with these guys, because like you said, the internet, streaming, and all of that technology has changed,
Yeah.
and because of that, now the boys are benefiting from it. Each generation will, gets better and better in the wrestling business. Where in other sports and other form of entertainment, sometimes it's the opposite. So, you just never know, what a generation could do to you. And again, I would have never thought in a million years that myself or Bubba would be part of one of the greatest eras of all time, meaning the Attitude Era. I was very happy to be a part of that era and to be able to witness so much that was going on. I mean, it was an incredible time. It really was. I thought the Hogan and Andre era was the best of all time. I never thought anybody would come close to that. And then all of a sudden, we came along, us misfits, and changed the whole, scope of things. So I'm very proud of what we did. All of our ECW guys and all of the guys from the Attitude Era. I'm just very happy that we were able to do that and be successful at it.
Yeah, right. And create a legacy there that still people go all these conventions today and see you guys. It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Are your sons getting into the business, D-Von, or no?
Yeah, they're wrestling as well. They're independent. They spent some time in AEW, then they left there. They weren't particularly happy there, which I didn't blame them.
Mhm.
Sorry, Tony, but I really didn't blame them. And again, they would, because they weren't being used correctly.
Mm.
And then like so many other AEW guys, they weren't being used at all sometimes.
Sure.
So they were trying to be on that main roster, and it just didn't work out for them there.
They're
So
still
now we
out.
go. Yeah, we're still out. They're still out there. They're in Dublin, Ireland right now.
Really?
They actually on vacation. They take more vacations than I ever did, even when I was with WWE. Good God! Every time
Damn.
I turn, but I learned from Facebook, social media. They don't call dad and
They
say, "Hey,
don't
dad,
tell
we're going
you?
out of the country," or I'll call them, and then that weird sound you hear when you call somebody who's overseas. It's like brr, not like the regular sound, and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" They
What
left
do
the
you do?
country again. Good God. Those guys, those boys are great. I love them. I'm very proud of them, and they're really doing well.
How do you overall assessing them from an in-ring perspective and like from a persona perspective, getting like their charisma over and stuff like that? How do you rate them currently, and what could they improve on, do you think?
I mean, I think they're great. I think they're really good, and I'm not just saying that because of my sons. I get that from a lot of fans that I see when I
Mhm.
go about, and they tell me they've seen them wrestle. They witnessed it and they said, "Your boys are real good. You did a hell of a job with them." I just think that it's almost like, how do I say this? It's almost like they have to be like those pissed off little Dudleys, you know.
Yeah.
I think they got to find that demeanor about them. I think once they find a niche in that, sky's the limit.
I haven't seen them in at least 2 or 3 years, but
Yeah,
are they identical?
fraternal,
Wow.
but they look just alike.
What's the difference? What does that mean, paternal?
Well, fraternal means they were in different sacks when they, in the mom's belly, and the other one is when you're in the same sack.
The
So,
identity when they're identical.
Identical. Yes, thank you. I couldn't find the word. I was
but
trying
they're
to cover it
both.
up.
But obviously, you're a twin, whether you're in one or both sex.
Yeah, you're
still
still, because you're born at the same time, so you're still a twin, but they were in two separate sacks. So
Oh wow!
yeah,
Good. Always
it's
learning.
it's amazing what the human body does. It really is. It's truly amazing.
Well, I mean, they got a great look, and I think what the little I got to see them when they were in not TNA, when they were in AEW and stuff like that, it was just they got a presence about them and everything like that, and for definitely like it's just getting the in-ring work and showing off who they are as people is going to really stand out for sure. So,
well, again, I'm just very proud of them, and they're really doing a great job. Not only just in the ring, but as men, as young men. They keep their nose clean, they do what they got to do, and they train 24/7. And I'm just very proud of them.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
sounds like overtraining to me.
Hey, I don't have anything to do with it. They just go to the gym. I call them, I go,
24/7
hey.
sounds a little bit.
Well, listen, I'd rather them do that than get themselves in trouble. keep them busy.
That's it. Keep them busy for sure.
Obsessive.
D-Von, somebody else asked a good story for you guys too. Was Frankie Chorizo asked any stories of fan attacking you guys while you were in ECW?
They weren't stupid back then. I mean, you've had guys that try to act all big and bad, but when Atlas Security showed up, that was when they really started acting big and bad. When Atlas Security wasn't in front of them, oh, they were little pussies then. But then the minute the security guards came, now they want to act like they want to get at you. They want to act like they want to hit you. I'm like, bitch, I will. Oh, I was like, bitch, I will knock you out.
Alice was awesome. I love those guys.
Oh,
and they weren't beyond. I've said before, like I caught everybody, and injured. I mean, Bob Ortiz, the ring announcer, I broke his nose. John Finnegan, I think I broke his nose. Wasn't just wrestlers, but also I pulled Ronnie from Atlas Security, his bicep. Well, I mean, it was in a pull apart where he's, I'm diving to get across the ring to somebody and he's pulling me apart, but he blames it on me. But it was, my body that did it. And that's always giving him problems like forever. And so he goes on my injury list as well. Like there wasn't anybody that was safe, whether they were my opponents or anywhere near the ring. But there was 2 lawsuits for me when I was with ECW, and one of them I just saw in a video on YouTube recently. They told the story and they got it pretty accurate. It was entertaining the way they told it. But I was sued by this kid, adult kid, that he was in the front row and I was standing on the floor at a house show. I believe I want to say Asbury, New Park, but
Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Somewhere in Jersey, but it wasn't at that big place on the beach that we used to do in Asbury Park.
Right, that was Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Bobby Duncan Jr. is in the ring, and I got a microphone, and I'm on the floor, and right behind me is the front row, and the dude is standing behind me, and I was a heel too, by the way. So I'm trying to get heat, and I'm saying Bobby Duncan Jr. Blah blah blah, trying to get them to boo me, and the dude it pours water on my head, and when he does, like his bottle hits me. I don't know what's going on, and so like I turn around real quick, and I just I grabbed his shirt, and I thought that he was attacking me, and I wanted to take him out, but he froze and he was scared, and I could see that, and so I had the microphone, so I just kind of humiliated him, I said, "Security, get this piece of shit out of here," with the spit on his face and the ripped up shirt, and kind of like that was basically about it, and that was the whole thing. But I had to go back to a deposition, and he sued, and his story was that I picked him up over my head, spun him 3 times clockwise, threw him into the guardrail repeatedly. His story was so crazy, I couldn't believe that the judge awarded the guy, but it wasn't like a trial or anything. It was weird, a deposition, and then I guess it was a settlement. It was like a fuck off $5,000 pay that ECW paid. But the funny thing about this was when I was Mr. Monday Night, and I went on Monday Night Raw on Monday, and I'm representing ECW, and then I go down ECW and I'm representing WWE. So I was a heel in both companies, an outsider in both companies, and because of that, even though this was an ECW show, this dude first he sued WWE and they paid him, and then he sued ECW and ECW paid him, and then he showed up at a show with a sign that said, "I sued RVD." I wanted to smack him.
I bet. You pick a hand here. Yeah.
Guys like that are nothing but big pussies.
Man. Just ridiculous.
You talk all that crap.
Yeah, another time a guy sued because he said that me and Sabu hit him when we dove out into the crowd, which that kind of shit would happen a lot if that was allowed, like on a mainstream basis, like WWE, like diving out without plants in the crowd. I mean, this guy, from what Paul said, the guy had rods and stuff anyway, and shouldn't have been there, but he might have got bumped. I don't know. I think Sabu hit him, not me, when I looked at the video, but it didn't matter from Paul's point of view. He just, same thing. It was just fuck off money.
Yeah, right. Jeez, that's the thing too. D-Von, I wanted to ask you too. You had some cool quotes. I think you were interviewed with Chris Van Vliet or something, and you mentioned about tag teams today and how there's almost like not much of a focus of them putting teams together and having that camaraderie. I think that you guys had in the past. And do you think that's something that's missing with today's tag teams a lot of ways?
Oh yeah, because a lot of times you're just putting single guys together.
Yeah,
because you don't have any room for them on the main roster. So you put them together, and 9 out of 10 times they hate each other.
Yeah.
They're not real tag teams. I don't know. When I came into ECW, I knew right off the bat that Heyman wanted me to be part of a tag team. He wanted me to be part of a group. Bubba and I never thought that we would be a tag team when I first came in. I was just part of the Dudley. I was part of the Dudley family.
Yes, yeah.
I was gonna say Dudley Clan, but I'm black, so you can't use that. That's how I got stumbled there. No, but we were, I just, I don't know. To me, being a part of, the Dudleys meant something to me. But again, it was a group of us, and so, but me and Bubba, at first we tagged, then we went at each other, and then we got back together. So we knew each other for 5.5 years before we made it to the big stage, which is WWE.
Yeah.
And so we rode together, we roomed together, we ate together. I mean, we did everything together. We got to know each other, and we're totally different people from each other. Bubba is like the rock and roll guy, Motley Crue. Meanwhile, I'm kind of like the Barry White, like, show you right. I'm the one that light a candle for you.
Right, that's it.
Bubba's like wants to kick you in the mouth and throw you down the steps. I'm like, no, baby, come on, get up. Come on, I got you.
Oh no, it is interesting because I see so many teams, they don't line up as well, and they don't seem like a fun group or like something that is like that, like family almost. Like Rob, even you and Sabu together, you guys got trained together and everything like that. So you had that dynamic. Sure, you were two very different personalities, like D-Von and Bubba were, but it's like you guys meshed that well, and it seemed like you made sense as a tag team, but you also made sense as single stars too.
Yeah, no, there was many times like in WWE because you got so many people in the dressing room and so many different combinations that you can use, and then you get new blood in, and you only got so many. So there's a lot of times where I didn't even realize, like probably Kane was probably one of them. I probably didn't realize we were a tag team until it was like, hey, wait a minute, this is like the third week in a row. Same thing happened with Kevin Nash. He asked me like a year or two ago. He said, "Remember that time we were tag team for a while?" And I was like, "We were." And he's like, "You don't remember that?" But it was like we both didn't know because you get there to the building and then you look at the lineup and it's like, oh, I'm in a 6-man tag and I'm teaming with Scott Steiner and Spike Dudley or whatever. It's so random. It seems random a lot of times anyway to us. And, that's from my perspective. A lot of times it would take weeks of continuously or repeatedly being teamed with someone until I realized, oh, I guess we're kind of a tag team now.
Hey, well, but
you probably never had that, D-Von. I don't know.
No, well, I was only stuck with one guy. 25 years. So, but I mean, again, it's one of those things where tag team wrestling is a lost art nowadays. And when you put two guys who were singles, together, who were stars, and now all of a sudden there's no room for them on the roster to be able to showcase what they can do anymore. Now they put them together. Here's the conflict of interest. When you got these two guys who are singles and who are stars, now they have to share the spotlight. And a lot of times they don't want to share the spotlight.
sure.
They it's me, me, me. And I understand that. I know it's selfish, but I get it. I understand it. Why should you have to take a second seat to someone else? But in hindsight, you have to make it work and you have to do what you got to do to get over. And if that means, playing fair, then you got to do that. And I think a lot of guys, when they're just put together, they don't want to be put together. So they're not trying to make it work. They're trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible. And that's what it is. Give you a prime example. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. They didn't get along at all. Now we're learning to find out because of all the documentaries that we're seeing. Now everybody's speaking and telling a story about it. But that was the way it was back then. So when you look at the Rockers and how they were, Marty and Shawn did not get along at all. I'm sure there were times where they did, but the majority of the time they didn't get along at all. They were fighting, all the time. And again, you learn this from all the documentaries that you see now. Behind what is that thing? Behind the
Well, there's the dark side of the ring.
That's what I was talking about, the dark side of the ring and all that. And I remember seeing that episode. As a fan, as a young kid, as a teenager, I'm thinking everybody gets along in terms of if you're on the same side. Now we're learning that just wasn't the case.
Yeah, different dynamics and pairing up. It's like do personalities clash? And the thing is like the Rockers were so marketable and popular. It's like you got to keep them together too in a lot of ways.
Yep, exactly.
D-Von, how was it to like? Obviously, this was such a pivot in WWE, but when they broke you and Bubba up for that time being, and you went on there, were you like kind of like ready for the challenge of like I want to try out being a single star and seeing how it is for you, or were you really really skeptical of it and just being like this is not going to work kind of thing?
Well, I was skeptical of it because at that, when I first started, I always wanted to be a singles wrestler, not a tag team. And then Bubba and I were together for 10 years at this point when that happened. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not ready to break up. And I think maybe we should stay a team. But Vince was like, no, I think you guys would do great on your own and blah, blah, blah. Me personally, I was upset with the Reverend D-Von character.
Yeah.
Because we were doing so well with it. I was doing promos with Vince, standing side by side with him. He's feeding off of me. I'm feeding off of him. We're doing great. And he was even telling me I was doing good. Then I came to work and one day, and because Bruce Pritchard was behind a lot of it, Brother Love, things like that. So I basically came to work one day and I said, Bruce, what are we doing? I don't know. Ask your boss. I go, my boss, Vince? He was like, nope. Ask your former boss. Former boss. And I'm just like, Paul Heyman? He goes, yeah, because this is when Paul had the book for SmackDown. And I was like, why would I ask Paul? Paul has nothing to do with it. And he goes, he does now. And I was like, excuse me, what? I was like, what the hell is going on? And that was when I was told that they were taking Bruce Pritchard off it and putting Paul on it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, it just seemed to I don't know. It wasn't gelling anymore in Vince's eyes. Somebody got to him and told him that I don't think D-Von's ready. Because I remember, and The Rock can probably confirm this, me and The Rock was leaving the gym. And as we were leaving the gym, he goes, D-Von, you need a ride to the hotel. Because it was some major pay-per-view. It might have been, we were in New York City. I remember that. But it might have been WrestleMania 10. I mean, not WrestleMania 10. I'm sorry. The WrestleMania where Brock and Goldberg went at it. Was that 20?
That was where the Rock. Oh, that was I believe that was Backlash 2003.
Okay, was that in New York City?
Let me see. Backlash 2003.
YouTube Chris would know.
He would know. I gotta look this up. Worcester, Massachusetts.
No, I was in New York City.
New York City. What?
Well, no, WrestleMania 20 was in New York City.
Yeah.
Where Brock or The Rock fought.
No, I'm sorry. It was Brock and Goldberg. So it had to be 20.
So that was 20. Yeah, you're right.
That was 20. So I'm in. I go, yeah, Rock. So we get in the car. We start walking. I mean, the guy starts driving. He goes, I just want you to know that I had asked Vince if it was okay if I would, because this is after he's done a couple of movies. So he had left us for a little bit and started doing his own thing. And he said to me, he goes, I just want you to know that I asked Vince, I want to work with you. I like your character. I like what you're doing out there. I've been watching, and I really want to try to help you get this over. I was like, man, thank you. If you do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He was like, but I tried, but then Vince told me that he's not ready. And I was like, what? He was like, he's not ready. I was like, Vince told you that. And he's like, yeah. I was like, what the hell's going on? We've been doing everything good together. I didn't understand what was going on. And then, a couple of the boys, came to me and was telling me that friends who you think are your friends are not your friends. Be careful, D-Von.
Man.
And at that time, I didn't know what he meant. There was somebody in the office stabbing me in the back. Wow. And the thing I'll say this, and Rob can attest to it, Vince can have high hopes on you, but let somebody within his inner circle say, I don't like D-Von here. I don't think he's ready. Vince will go and believe that. Even though he's been thinking this guy is ready, but let somebody like Bruce Pritchard or what, and I'm not saying it was Bruce, but let somebody of that caliber who's very close to Vince tell him that, this guy's not ready, and Vince will change his mind like that.
Wow, man. Yeah, Rob, have you had that kind of instances too when it came to Vince at some points or anything like that, where like something seemed like it was possible and then it got changed? Or
I think that is something everybody has to go through. I don't think anyone is an exception to having things promised to them in that world that end up not happening, because there's so many people fighting for the same thing that things change all the time. So definitely. And as far as having somebody in the office at the agent and booking meetings, shooting ideas down that were talked about using me, I think everybody knows, because Dreamer's been vocal about it. He's been in a lot of these meetings, and Paul has told me, and I think everybody knows that the guy that's in charge now wasn't such a big fan of pushing me back then. So definitely I experienced that too. And as far as the most painful bump, since I somehow didn't get a chance to answer that, what comes to mind is, believe it or not, a Samoan drop. That's the last time. Is definitely one of the most painful, and it was in Qatar. And what's the kid's name? He's one of the Samoans. They're all cousins and stuff. I can't think of this guy's what he wrestles as. His name. He's probably watching, and I'm probably insulting him. What was the Samoan dude? I think he did some ECW matches. And he's a Samoan guy. He's a brother. You don't know.
Is it Tonga?
No, not that. Much younger than me. And anyway, he wrestles on. He was in. I had a match with him, I guess, in Qatar, and I remember, boom, up on his shoulders, and he did the Samoan drop, and it broke my rib, and I knew like right away. I was like, oh, when I hit, which, now looking back at it, one person, I don't remember who it was now, said, did you hook his arm? And I was like, I bet I didn't. Like, I didn't even think about that, but that's something that, everybody should know to do. And that would have saved me from having my rib broke, but I didn't hook his arm. And anyway, it wasn't that long ago, like 2021 or something.
Oh, really? So relatively.
Or 20. Yeah. Sometime recently. And it hurt so bad. I was like, oh, and I rolled out to the floor and was just sitting there, and Mark Henry came over, hey, great match. I'm like, oh, I broke my rib. It hurt so bad. I don't know if you ever had a broken rib, but everything hurts because it's part of your frame, so you can't move anything. Can't move anything without it hurting. Breathing hurts, and that's like the worst pain that I can remember. Man, the whole experience afterwards, just trying to lay in bed afterwards, and supposed to go to some horse races with the royal family, whoever that is, and I was like, I can't move. Every time I had to pee, I was like, no. Oh my God, I had to go through this whole big thing where I'd hold my breath through the pain of trying to roll up to my feet. And on the flight, on the way back home from Qatar, every single time the stewardess would come by, they could hear the way I was breathing, that I was like, I was like making these noises, and every single time they'd come by and they'd say, sir, are you okay? Every single time I'd look at them and I'd say, no.
No, I'm not.
They wouldn't know what to do.
Not the answer they were expecting.
No.
They just look at me weird and walk away. And other times it was like, is there anything we can do? And I'm like, alcohol.
Booze. Just give me booze.
Yeah.
Rob, the fans are saying it was Jacob Fatu, maybe. Was it Jacob Fatu?
No.
Wasn't him? Okay.
No.
That's
a good guess, though. This guy, Anoa'i. I want to say Samu Anoa'i, but he's not the like little Sam. But he's a cousin in that family.
Is it Lance?
Is it Lance? He's younger.
He's the younger one. He just got signed to NXT.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lance is good stuff too. Yeah.
This guy's like well known on the indie scene, but I don't think that he's been, except for a few ECW shows, which I only know because he told me, that's where he knows me from, like a lot of wrestlers. Yeah, remember back in ECW? And I was, but and I'm like, oh, you were there? But I see him around, but not like on the big shows. You know what I mean?
Big shows, yeah. Jim the Don wants to give a shout out. Just say, get the tables. Love you guys. ECW forever. So good stuff.
Absolutely, my brother. Testify.
Heck yeah. What else was I gonna ask too? Something regarding D-Von, what are you plan to go to Las Vegas and stuff for WrestleMania season and
Oh,
everything?
absolutely. I'll be there. No
yeah.
question asked.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there. WrestleMania, I can't wait. Vegas, here we go.
It's gonna be a good atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, my lady's excited too. She can't wait to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so far away now, huh? It's gonna be
No, for you, it's coming up soon. She's trying to convince me to go to the Hall of Fame. I'm like, man, I don't want to sit through something like that. To me, I love the Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but sometimes the stories can be just a tad bit long. If they can narrow it down to a minute, because not everybody can be as entertaining as Paul Heyman. I didn't mind sitting through that because you just didn't know what was going to come out of Paulie's mouth. But there's other guys that they're talking and you're just like,
yeah.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but again, just say it. How about we go, thank you, good night, and get up the stage. But I get it. People gotta, they have the right to have the floor at that particular point in time, and it is what it is.
D-Von, when I got inducted in 2021, it was in front of an empty arena during COVID in a sound machine that every time I'd say something, it would they would applaud, they just turn it up and turn it down. It was so weird. You know how long they told us to go?
How long?
3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Because remember back then during COVID that they were able to do that.
Yeah.
They were even able to, cut and then, have Vince come out to the stage and be like, listen, I told you 2 to 3 minutes and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. They can do anything. Yeah, there was nobody to see it. So
there's nobody to see. Yeah, so he can do whatever he wants.
Say that part again. Hold on, we're having an audio problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Okay, can you go back to where you? Yeah, it was so weird. I knew I went over. I wanted to go over so they could edit it. 3 to 5 minutes. I thought I'll go. I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, something. I went 27 fucking minutes.
Holy smokes, really?
Yeah, like there's 19 minutes of it made it to somewhere online where you were able to watch it, but not the whole 27 minutes. And I had no idea that I went that long. It's so weird. But when they sent it to me on a disc, a DVD gimmick, and so that's how I know that I went 27 fucking minutes. I went over by like 24 minutes and didn't even know.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Over by 19, however you look at it, whatever. But anyway, it was so weird because I knew I had points to make, but I was detached from time. I guess whatever I normally use to judge time by was just not there when it was an empty arena and me saying, and I'd like to thank D-Von Dudley for hitting me in the eye. And then it'll quiet down. Like, all right. And that's what it felt like.
D-Von, were you pretty happy overall? Did you cover all the bases you wanted to in your Hall of Fame speech, do you think? Or was there something you missed? You were like, dang it, I wish I could have had that chance to say something.
Well, one of the things that I wish that I could have done was, give thanks. That was my first. Should have been the first one I should have thanked was God. Because without him, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. The stuff that we did back then was insane, and I shouldn't be. I mean, I'm having problems walking because I had back surgery, but I shouldn't even be walking with half the shit that we've done. It was insane what we put our bodies through and why we are hurting now because of it. The question's always asked to somebody, if you had an opportunity to go back and change anything, would you?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the answer is no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
At one point, I said yes because I was in so much pain. But when I really think back at it, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I had such a great time. I had such a great career, and I told my kids, I said, God forbid if I pass away and, you do my eulogy or what have you, I don't want you to make it seem like my life was sad
Yeah. Yeah.
because it wasn't. I did things my way and I was successful at it. Not bad from a black kid born in the projects, didn't have anything and built everything.
Yeah.
My
Proud of you,
mother was,
Reverend D-Von.
thank you, man. My mother was pregnant at 15, had
Wow.
me at 16. You know, my father was a drug dealer, big time in New York City. And, my grandmother helped raise me with my mom, growing up in the projects. And, you know, it was rough, especially when crack hit the scene in 83. No one had ever seen that epidemic before and knew what crack could bring, to the table. And, for me living in the projects at that time, it was very difficult to even go outside anymore because you would see crack vials in the grass where we used to play and all of that. So it was rough. But through the grace of God, I made through it. And, he basically got me through all of that. So I'm very happy about that. But that was one of the things that I regret not saying during the Hall of Fame speech. Because again, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like thinking about keeping all that stuff in mind. And yeah, a lot of people, if
Hmm.
you're strong in your faith and stuff like that, that's something you definitely want to acknowledge. And I would be in
Absolutely.
the same boat. Be in the same
Did
boat.
did your dad work with Frank Lucas or Nicky Barnes?
Yes, Lucas, he did. Yes, he
Really?
did. He did. From my understanding, from my uncle, my my father's brother, he was with him. He did some stuff with him. I don't
Okay.
know if he was. I don't know if he was there permanent, but he did some stuff with him.
Yeah.
Um, and there was another drug dealer in the 90s as well. And back when the 90s came along, everybody was fighting for position, so there was no loyalty anymore in the drug game.
Hmm.
And, my father realized that and had to get out because if not, he knew he'd be killed.
Hmm.
And, everybody was turning on each other. So the way things were back then wasn't what it was at that particular point in time. The drug game had changed dramatically. So, it was something, again, I said this before, I'm proud of my upbringing and what I went through because it made me the person that I am now. Could it have gone a different way? Absolutely. Statistically shows that I should not be the type of person I am now because of how
Right.
I grew up, but that's where you gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop blaming society, stop blaming God because you know right from wrong.
Hmm.
If you choose to follow in the same path that people have done where they shouldn't have done, and you decide to do that, then that's on you. Don't use that as an excuse. Don't use that as a crutch for you to do things bad. Don't do that. Again, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and like I said, in the projects, I could have turned either way.
What
But
did you say?
watching,
Was it Brighton? Not Brighton Beach, right? Or what?
no, I grew up. It was Myrtle and Nostrand near Flatbush, right over there. Actually, where Biggie Smalls grew up.
Really?
Yeah, I was because he was over there on Flatbush.
Okay.
And I was on Flatbush, no, Myrtle Avenue,
Just read how the
which,
city, how it got its name from this flat bush that was growing that fell off a
yeah,
boat. Like in
mhm,
Brooklyn was early, young and incredible thing. I don't know, a book I'm reading on Red Hook right now, but
right,
because you told me before that I don't. Sorry to interrupt you, but you told me before that like it
mhm.
was like Russian mobsters that had taken over the
Taking
area. I
over. Yeah, it was
don't know if
Coney
that's where you
Island.
grew up or where you were living at the
Yeah,
time.
no, where I was living, Coney Island,
Oh,
because I had left Myrtle. I had left Myrtle and Flatbush and moved to Coney Island, which is another section of Brooklyn, and that was rough. And then I remember leaving, coming back only to find out that the whole neighborhood had changed. You know, people were able to walk the streets without being fair in their lives. Um, And it was weird because the Russian gangs or mob, whatever you want to call them, they had moved in. And I asked my cousin when I went back to visit, what the hell is the Russian people wanting to move into the projects for? But they had security up there. Man, you couldn't do anything without, the police being there. They cleaned it up really good.
That's good, man. Wow, how about that? Jeez.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, no, it's like being in that such a rough kind of area of the city and everything like that, and being able to flourish and find your way. It is a rare thing for that to happen because so many people, like whether you're in like a something in LA or anything like that, the deck is stacked against you, and
absolutely,
to get out of that and to find solace. Thankfully, you had your grandmother and your mother helping you out and everything like that, because that's
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's
absolutely. My mom was a trooper. I love her to death. We get along great now. There was a period in time in my life where we didn't speak for a little bit, but we ironed that out and got through it. And she's like my best friend now. She's my heart. And everything that she sacrificed to get to where for me where I am today, I'll always be grateful for her.
Yeah, 100%. That's great, D-Von. That's great, man. And you and Barbie are great too, Rob. How about that?
Yes. Barbie with the running.
She making the running, making the hot tag here. Frankie asked the question too, D-Von. We talked about this, Rob, before, but Frankie asked this: how could WWE's ECW have been successful? Do you think there was a lot of different things that they could have done to make ECW, the reignition of it, kind of help?
I'll be honest. My opinion, and Rob might be different from me, but when WWE did their version of ECW, no, I don't think it could have been saved.
Okay.
I think the crew that we had was like no other. And by the time WWE got their hands on ECW and made their own version of ECW, I think knowing how we were back then, I just think it was over. Unless you have Paul Heyman running it, unless you have myself, Rob Van Dam, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, the Gangsters, the Eliminators, Sabu, the thing goes on and on. Unless you got those guys in there, you're not going to have an ECW. It's just, it was a watered down version of what once was. And it's not because of and Taz, not just because, it was WWE putting their hands on it. But again, we were special. We were different. That's why we became the revolution that we became, because we were different. And people wanted different. And we gave them.
Yeah.
I don't think this generation could subdue the pain that we encountered because it was painful. That's why when people say wrestling is fake, go F yourself.
Right.
Okay, because you can't do what we do. You can never be on the road 300 days out of the year, still get up from a hotel room and still go. So it's one of those things where, I get, I don't know, pissed off when people talk crap, but it is what it is. Again, if it wasn't for us, this new generation would not know what wrestling was all about.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for just to recap, because we talked about this recently, but when I said D-Von, when ECW on WWE started out, I had some great matches that people forget about. For me at first, it was like being in the original ECW in a lot of ways, and I felt like I was my original ECW RVD. Like I connected with it. It was like my idea to bring it back on their stage to do the pay-per-view. When I started out, I had some great matches with Bob Holly and with Test and with Big Show and with Sabu. And during that time, I was like really enjoying the artistic freedom. Here's what I said. If I had to make that work, and it would take some of the OGs to be there, But when it first started out, JR would, as he talked about it, every time he'd say, promote the show, whatever, he'd say, ECW means anything goes, over and over. ECW means anything goes. That's what they changed, and that's what killed it, was they ended up having one Extreme Rules match per night, which, so what? You guys already do tables, ladders, and chairs and other ideas that you've already stolen from ECW. But so what my idea was, if I had to make it work, that keep it anything goes in ECW, even if you had to control it a little bit and say, hey, you can't dive on crowds that aren't planted or whatever, but keep it like that, and then use it if you're going to bring other wrestlers in from SmackDown or Raw like they did. It made it confusing and polluted the talent pool. My idea was, if you're going to do that, have them go there to settle the scores. Like they got a problem with each other, like, oh yeah, well, meet me next week on ECW, because that means anything goes. You're going to get busted open. So I think that would have been my idea. What I would have done to try to make it keep working, it would have been the exact same. It would have been more like a 2000 whatever version. But
Yeah.
That was my idea. You don't have to tell me what you think about it.
And I also feel Vince wasn't ready to relinquish any power
Mm-hmm.
when it came to ECW. He wanted it to be done his way and his way only. But again, like Rob said, have some of the original guys come back with you, which we did. The Rob was there, myself, Bubba, Balls Mahoney, Sandman,
Dreamer,
Axel Rod, and Dreamer, yeah.
Of it. And when I talked to Vince about doing the one night stand, which I called one night only, when I actually pitched it to him, I said, you don't even have to reach out. Like, you got so many guys in your dressing room that were in ECW. He didn't know. I gave him a big list. The next week I followed up and I said, did you know all these guys that are on your roster are ECW guys? Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, the Dudley boys, Taz. And I went through all this with Guido, and he was like, wow, I didn't realize that. Like, he said, like, he didn't even know. And so, all of those guys would have worked for trying to move forward.
Yeah.
All the guys that were able to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely always a weird time, because those were some exciting matches you had. Like, Bob Holly, Kurt Angle, like there was a lot of cool names to
Kurt Angle, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, and then the aspect of it just wasn't utilized right. I think what you were saying, D-Von, like Vince, it wasn't ready to give up power and just all that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen it work. But again, when Vince had his hand on it, it's like Vince never watched the show of ECW, so he wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
You put Paul Heyman back in the mix of things, absolutely.
Yeah, right. Get the people to know what's going on with that one for sure. Well, cool, D-Von. Is there anything else you want to get over or anything like that?
Other than my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. We have a new video coming out every Thursday. So Rob's video and I, with my podcast, just dropped this Thursday, so check it out. Very interesting stuff. And help me reach that 100,000. Which would be great. Yep, I have my wrestling school in not Fort Lauderdale. Oof. I have my wrestling school in Winter Park. It's called DDA, D-Von Dudley Academy. You can look it up to get all the information you want, or give us a call. We'll be more than happy to do that. Also, I have my detailing business in Fort Lauderdale. It's mobile. We go from Fort Lauderdale all the way up to Daytona.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know you did that too. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So cool. Well, cool, D-Von. It's been awesome to have you on here. And
thank you.
Get your perspective. And
do we have the name of his YouTube channel, or do we need
what I will do?
It's D-Von Dudley, D-Don Dudley. You type in D-Von Dudley in the hole, and it comes up.
It pops up pretty darn quick for sure.
Mhm.
And I'll be sure to post a link too on our descriptions and stuff when I repost the video and everything. So we'll share that out too. I'll share out your wrestling school and everything like that as well too. So awesome. Seth Tuchman, our theme song guy, he says, "Oh, testify." So there we go. We knew he was gonna pop in. That's the guy who wrote our theme song, D-Von.
Oh, my brother, testify indeed.
How about that?
What'd you think about my opening song?
Oh, I loved it.
Good stuff, right?
It had that Caribbean feel to it.
Yeah.
Which, smoking or taking a gummy or what have you, relaxing.
Right.
Listening to that music. Yeah. Listen, I can do it.
Party down tonight, D-Von.
Oh, I'm ready. I am ready.
Cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Thanks, D-Von.
Mhm,
Thanks. We're gonna let you go and then continue on a little bit without you, so we can talk about you behind your back.
We'll talk all good things, D-Von.
Absolutely, I trust you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me on. You got it, brother. Thank you, guys. Have
Okay,
fun.
cool. Thanks so much.
Later,
Have a
man.
good evening. See you soon.
Later. You got it, buddy.
All right. I did D-Von's podcast in Indianapolis just a couple of days ago on Sunday. Really busy day. I was going to say weekend, but it was a pretty busy weekend. I got in Friday and then did a TV station, Wish TV.
Oh,
At 8 in the morning on Saturday. And then from 10 to 3, I signed at WrestleCon and had a car at 3 waiting to take me and Katie to the Royal Rumble. And then we were there, of course, till the end of the night. And then I did D-Von's podcast the next morning before I flew out. So it was a pretty busy weekend. And it was awesome in Indianapolis as well,
yeah. How was the experience of being there?
It was so cool. It was cool, man. It was so cool. Great energy, like I had a good time, just being there. Like I really enjoyed it. Good vibes. Busy as hell at the WrestleCon. Like this was one of the busiest that I've been, like just nonstop, like so busy that I'm signing and I'm talking, and someone's waiting to get a picture, and I'm like, baby, can you get the? Oh, she's already taking a picture. Never mind. Boom, boom. Anyway, it was like I enjoy doing it, but it was like pretty darn busy. And then so many people at the convention, fans. Also wrestlers, but over the weekend, wrestlers there, wrestlers at the Royal Rumble backstage, fans, wrestlers, even the office, the administration. People at the top were telling me how much they've enjoyed me going after Bad Business Bobby. And then they go on to share their horror stories with me.
Oh my God.
So many that I have to update you because a lot has happened to talk about in the last week. And so I feel like I gotta update you because last time we talked, we said when he canceled the show. That was that before our last show or after?
No, that was before. Yeah,
okay, so we canceled, and then we did a show, and then now he says he's doing a reboot. So many people have sent me this poster.
I did too. You were like well aware of it at that point.
Yeah, over 3 days, people were just stumbling across it, and I'm like, I know, like I said before, I have a plethora of stories, and right now he's just talking about doing the show, which talk from Bad Business Bobby Fulton or Dildo, I consider bullshit unless proven otherwise. So let's see. If he does it, chances of him burying himself pretty good and screwing over some more people, but they were warned. I mean, everybody knows that I'm not making this up. I think,
Right.
you know, that's the impression I get from talking to everyone, is that they know that. So you know, if you're gonna go work, but I would, like I said before, like I would expect any of the wrestlers to and fans to say, well, they haven't screwed me over yet, so you know, why not you know, move forward and continue to work with them. I totally agree with that way of thinking. You know, I would never tell people, you know, don't do this because of what happened to me. I believe in judging people by their actions as you experience them firsthand whenever possible, you know. And so anyway, I heard from so many people, including just about everybody in Bobby's family.
Damn.
Yeah. His son, Jaron, has reached out a few times, just seeing if there's a solution that we could start aiming towards. You know, cool kid. He's not wrapped into this at all, but it is his dad. He's the normal kid. Jackie, as I know him by, Jackie Fulton, who I used to wrestle in All Japan, also known as George Hines. He has called me, and he's not in the middle of it either, but he's expressed how using the term the Hines crime family has inconvenienced him out of respect for his family name and his dad, who was a really hard worker. And it was I had a couple conversations. Well, had a conversation with the man, and we left a few voicemails back and forth. And you know, I had to give it a lot of thought. You know, like, I get it, and I respect him, and he's always been a great guy. He never got heat with anybody, meaning Jackie. I would like to share more of his perspective so everyone understands what the criminal Hines kid, who is brother Bobby Fulton, Jimmy Hines, what he's doing to his own family name and how it's affecting his family. Anyway, more on that later, but out of respect for George / Jackie, you know, there's a lot of memes that have this on there, and it's convenient, and it's a hashtag, and I didn't make it up. I wish I would have, but you know, I'm going to make an effort, you know, to try to come up with a different name, you know, and maybe you guys in the chat room can even help me. I was thinking, you know, Fulton crime family, because it's Bobby Fulton, but Dildo's not really known as a Fulton, and he's part of the crime family, even though he doesn't want you to, because I even heard from Dildo. Dildo has, throughout this, actually called me.
Oh, he called you too.
I'm not gonna take your call, Dildo. I've said that. Oh, you know, even when we were doing the show on him, I said. But anyway, yeah, he calls me like once a week or so. But he texted me something. He emailed it to me. He gave it to Moose to pass on to me. Maybe some other people. He wanted to make sure that I got this one message. The 7-point bulletin speech that he put together. And so, believe it or not, the son flips on the dad.
Sure did.
So he wants to blame everything on Dad, says he's done with the business. He's not handling anything anymore. He's gone. And first off, he's one of the guys that first wanted to tell me that his dad was running again. And I figure, March 8th is a long time away. That's when they're planning on doing the reboot.
The reboot.
It's is it a long time away? Well, it's a few weeks anyway, so
It's about a month, right? Yeah, about a month.
So that's quite a few shows. So instead of taking up the whole hour talking about them and stuff, I'm going to share a few of the messages that I got each week, and then there's some really bad stuff, and I'm not going to hit you with that at first, but I just want everybody to know what a scumbag Bobby Fulton is. And so I want to show you, if you could bring up Exhibition A.
Yes.
This is something I got after last week's show. You can read it for yourself, guys. This is an announcement above for Bobby returning with the wrestling show, Big Time Wrestling in Chillicothe. The scam is back on. People, give me your money. I'll scam you. And then, as you can see, Dylan's commentary afterwards. This is on a text message to me. Rob, Dad is heavily medicated. I begged him to stop. He's refused. He's equivalent to Biden. The only 3 times you were screwed, he was involved in giving the pay, to which I had zero involvement. Please take his ass down. But now I'm not involved. I'm not talking to him at all due to this.
Yep. Seems pretty like a straightforward guy, right?
Putting a lot of stock in what he says. So, you guys tell me what you think. What is this, a setup? Like, are they what? I don't know. But I know that he wants me to think that he is on my side and that he's against his dad. And on Facebook today, he posted something similar to the 7-point bulletin message I'm about to show you. And on there, he actually says, I apologize to Rob Van Dam, and offers, as he did to me, to actually pay me back. So I'm curious what everybody thinks about that. I'll tell you what I think about it, though. And this is what I told George Hines, Bad Business Bobby's brother, on the phone when he said, I mean, I know he owes you money. If he paid you back, like, would that solve it? No, it's not about the money anymore to me. Not that I believe that they would pay me back anyway, but I am insulted that after shorting me on the pay, they call me a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to make that right. That's what it is about me. I care about my reputation. None of us can control what other people think about us or what they say about us. But for him to be so dishonest, doesn't even care about the truth, just goes into attack mode to discredit, to try to ruin anybody that he thinks isn't on the Bobby Fulton bandwagon with him. Anybody, whether they're running a dog show in town in Chillicothe on the same show as his wrestling show, he's going to stomp out them pooches, because that's what he does. And people don't stand up to him. And now I've got so many people telling me they're so happy that I stood up to him. And as I said, sharing their horror stories as well. It's not about the money right now. It's about you saying that I lied. I'm a piece of trash. I made this up. Basically everything else that you could do. When I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict. I take too long at the tables. I wet my pants when I'm taking pictures with fans. You may even said I smell bad. Whatever you can add on there. It's about that, and that is his technique, and that he's a horrible, rotten person. And he has taught his son to be a horrible, rotten person as well. But he is the one, and he's the one that I believe is moving forward with putting this show together on March 8th. And so I feel obligated to share some of these stories on my platform. People want me to share, and they don't have the big platform like I do, so they're sending it to me. Anyway, if you would, let's share Exhibition B. Let's share Dildo's big, long ass message.
I had to splice this too. So
It's long.
This is screenshot 1 here. So once you're done reading here, we'll pop up the other one.
Okay. And the thing is, by the way, while you're reading ahead, I wouldn't normally even probably show this. He has messaged me a lot of times over the last several weeks, and normally I wouldn't, but like I said, he really, really wanted me to get this message, went through several outlets to get it to me. I'm pretty sure he wants me to show this, to read it, to talk about it. And like I said, he posted one kind of similar to it on his Facebook just today. Now, I got this several days ago. Rob, this is Dylan Hines. I am writing to you over several things. First off, I was led to believe that my father didn't screw you over on those 2 dates. And now, after doing my own digging, I realized he's the con man I figured he was. I apologize for calling you a liar for that. I was not financially involved and refused to be, but needed to look into this. Second off, please let me know how much you consider yourself owed for Mania. My father told me that he had paid that amount via PayPal or bank wire. I've been told 2 different things. I am currently working on living outside of the wrestling business. It may take a bit, but I'm willing to pay whatever you are owed. I apologize for that. Third off, I have asked him to no longer promote events. He's absolutely refusing. When he goes to do it, I will not be involved and prefer I am not mentioned. He and Christy will be the ones running the events. Oh, are they saying that Christy is the replacement? Because people on Facebook are saying, okay, you're saying Dildo's gone and that there's a new person running it or a new partner or whatever, and people are saying, who is it? And I saw some people saying that's kind of red flaggy that they're not saying who it is. Maybe it's just Bobby and Christy. I don't know. You know, I'm guessing someone will tell me if he's hooked his hooks into a potential sponsor that he can drain the pockets of. But I did see that is a question and a blank. And, you know, Christy, of course, is his girlfriend / wife, the only one who hasn't reached out to me in his family during this, besides Bobby himself, which I don't think he did. But show the next part 2 of that. Episode is long. Fourth off, I was a yes man to him, which was wrong, but I felt I needed to be so as he was my father. I was forced to carry out his dirty work. I decided 2 weeks ago I would no longer do this, and he gave me the cold shoulder since. Fifth off, I believe everyone has been refunded for the March event. Now that's amazing. You know, I really thought just after canceling that show that a lot of people were not going to get refunded. I don't really know if everybody was refunded. I'm going to assume there was only 10 tickets sold anyway, so it was easy to do to go back to those fans and give it back. I don't know the details, but you know, amazingly, I haven't heard people complain yet that they weren't refunded about this.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. All right. What's okay? Sixth off, I hated that he put your number out, and in all honesty, that should never have taken place. I am told that Dildo handles Bobby's social media. I totally figured Bobby would blame it on Dildo. and say, I don't even know how to use the Facebook. Because I could see that because I can barely use the damn Facebook.
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't even know. I'm like, Katie, I got my kid. Where do I find my fucking? But anyway, I don't know, but I heard that he does all the social media. I consider them two peas in a pod. Even reading this until I have a reason not to. But let's go on here. So he put my number out. 7th off. I am not autistic nor anything of that sort. And what's that last line? Again, my apologies. I hope that you have the best in your future. He even wishes me the best.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, I had to update everyone because a lot of people are like, dude, your money, pay him the money. And so now, at least he's offering to do that. So, regardless of what's behind the offer, you can make your decisions and judgment off of that. But Dildo, I was told, is in New York and not there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but they are saying that they're having a show. I saw the poster. They got Mick Foley on there three times to make it look like they got more wrestling.
Yeah, they got more people.
He's a carny all the way.
Do you want me to show the poster? I have the poster. Do you want me to show the poster?
Nah, no, but let's show exhibition C. Let's get through some of these. Like I've told you, I've got text messages, I got Facebook messages, Twitter, email, like so many that I don't know. I don't know how I'll choose, except for some of the worst ones. I'm going to progressively get towards them. But here's one. Okay, yeah. So this is just something someone sent me where this is. I'm going to guess Jimmy might be Jimmy Hines, but
that's his picture up there too.
Yeah. And by the way, let me tell you this. I had one person tell me that they thought, I think that was wrong that you said that you told everybody that Dylan shit his pants. We've all shit our pants.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you,
we all shit our pants.
I just want to tell that person, that's cool. I disagree. I'm not sorry that I shared that story with everybody. It was hilarious. And Dildo's pretending he's a really tough guy until someone put their hands on him and he shit his pants. And it's really relevant to understanding his character. But anyway, I just wanted to share. Oh, and also somebody said, I don't think it's right that you should make fun of Bobby's voice. He had cancer. It's a horrible thing to go through. I had it twice. I shouldn't make fun of his voice. To that I say, do you like it when I do the Paul Heyman voice? Do you like it or no?
I like it. I know that.
Truth. Do you like it? Do you like what I do, Vince McMahon? This is what Bobby sounds like. So if I'm going to do an impression, if I'm talking about Johnny Ace and I'm thinking about that moment when he's talking to me and I'm sharing with you the authenticity of that moment, I'm remembering the exact moment the way that I remember it. You know what I mean? Like, Robbie, you're going to be fined $500, but I know you don't care. But I just wanted to tell you, that's the way that he sounds. And so when I do Bobby, how am I not going to tell you when he says, me too, how am I not? I'm just boom, hitting the memory in my brain bank and sharing with you. So sorry if you don't like the way he sounds or you don't like my impression of him. That's how I feel about it anyway. So that's how he sounds to me, and apparently to a lot of people. But anyway, this is a fan, I guess, and Bad Business Bobby in a conversation here where Bobby is assuring Ryan, the fan, Ryan, I want to inform you all talents have been paid. We could not run all those events doing people wrong. Believe me, we are not harming anyone talents. We are not harming anyone talents. Please delete that, because I don't know what he wanted him to delete, but I know from all these messages, Bobby's very protective of his image. Remember, he wanted Mike Thompson to please delete that audio message you have of me telling you that cocksucker is in the Bible. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Where Bobby's preaching? Yeah, he got kicked out of church. That's a story that's coming too, by the way. Yeah. This is him, saying, it's Bobby saying, it was all BS. It was just bullshit. Trust me, wouldn't be around this long if I was ripping people off. So I just want to say to that, no, I haven't been paid. Now, I just shared with everybody that days ago, Dildo has offered to work towards paying me off. But no, I haven't been paid off. And I don't know. I only can say my, firsthand story of that's bullshit. He's protecting his image, and he wants you to delete something where you put the question, I think is what it was. He just asked him, has everyone been paid? Because I've heard some things, and he wants him to delete that. And he responds with, I never said you were harming talents. I asked if they're being paid properly because of the claims. You or whoever is running the Big Time Wrestling page answered the question. I feel like my question was a genuine question that others have probably asked. I see no reason to delete it, because he was just asking him, there's all these rumors. Is everyone paid? I don't know what his question, how it was worded.
Yeah.
That is how Bobby is. Delete that audio. Delete any evidence you have that goes against my narrative of us being a wholesome, charitable, family-run operation that's just trying to give the kids a good show.
Good old time. That's
a good show. All right. Anyway, we got another one?
We got another one with it's this one here, Rob.
Okay. And I just picked some random ones that I thought were easy, soft pitches just to get the ball rolling. Like I said, but let's see. They still owe me a refund from the show that they canceled during COVID, and his dumbass son had a hissy fit when people started asking for refunds. That is a redundant complaint. I've got several messages that when people want refunds from them, usually where it's mail-in orders, they either block them or they keep saying, I'll send it next week. I'll send it next week. And then send something damaged and then block them. Or there's a story. There's one of the stories I'll share with you where, I'll share it with you. But according to the story, Bobby has Nikita Koloff there and is wearing a chain, and the dude says, hey, I would love to buy that chain. You know what I mean? Is that for sale or whatever? And he says that Bad Business Bobby worked him into thinking that he was going to send him the chain later or somehow or whatever, buy it from him later, whatever. But he said that he got a chain in the mail that was like something that Bobby had just like grabbed offline or whatever, and wasn't the same one at all. And anyway, I'll let him tell the story firsthand, but that's the kind of business guy that Bobby is. Do we have another exhibition?
That's all. Oh, if there was another one you wanted to read here on here,
well, let me see. I may not know you. Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't screw anyone. It's obvious. Yeah, I don't know where the rest of that one is, but that most of the people are saying, just like I would expect, that I have an impeccable reputation and firsthand experiences with me are usually pretty good and pretty genuine, and people like me and people trust me. And so not going to let Bad Business Bobby try to tear that down just because that interferes with the narrative of his scam.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody thinks I'm above that and, they're tired of the drama or whatever, I feel obligated to dedicate at least some of my platform to continuing to educate people on who they are. It's important. And I have a lot of people messaging me, wanting to work with me on this, wanting me to accomplish something on this. And really, like I said, paying off wouldn't help. He would have to, die or cancel his show, quit the business, admit that I wasn't lying at all, which would basically be admitting that he's full of shit. And I don't see that happening. So the way I see it, there's not room for both of us in this business, at least not to be comfortable. So I'm going to keep putting the squeeze on him, and he's going to learn to enjoy it, I guess, or learn to deal with it. A while ago, we were threatened by Dildo with lawsuits. We're going to have to file a legal claim against you. And he sent it to me and Sabu and Fonzie that I know of. And anyway, that was always a joke. But for a while, I was like, hey, I'm just giving you all kinds of discovery and material and trying to help. I'm being sued here. But now that Dildo's flipping, at least on the front
of it,
wink, maybe, who knows? What do you guys think? But either way, I'm not changing my position. And, I would rather have, so far it's just words, and words from Bad Business Bobby or from Dildo don't mean anything because they have absolutely no respect for the truth, for honesty, for facts. They just have their own narrative that they want to put out there, and that's all they care about. So because of that, he says he's doing a show. Let him lay down the foundation, put a little work into it before we hit him with the storm. Otherwise, all we're doing is stopping his words, and that's really not enough. Like, let's see what he does here. He might end up just shutting himself down in the meantime. He could be bluffing for all we know. Has anybody talked to Mick? I thought about reaching out to him, but I haven't, and actually, I don't care. I'm going to watch Bobby build it and base it on that.
I was flabbergasted to see a poster up again that quick. Like, just from what you were saying about them, you're like, yeah, they're going to come back. I didn't know it was going to be that soon. Like, it's been like an emotional roller coaster of like, oh, hey, we're canceling. And then Dylan's like, oh, hey, I'm leaving the business forever. And then, oh, hey, we got a show back on.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Soon we'll be talking about, we got this big first show, Only Wrestlers Association in Hollywood, California, coming up March 20th. After that, we're going to Chillicothe, Ohio.
Oh, how about that?
How about that?
I like that.
I bet I'd have a lot of help.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Guys, yes, like Rob mentioned, go to Only Wrestlers right up there. onlywrestlers.com. Sign on up and get your spot ready. If you could catch it there. If you're in Los Angeles, I know Seth is going to be there. I think somebody else is making a trip to go there. I think Jem the Dawn is going there. But you can also stream it too, right, Rob? You can stream it on Only Wrestlers too.
Yes, and there's a special going on right now where, because if you want to watch the wrestling show on the live stream, it's only $6.95, and what you're doing is you're paying to subscribe, and it was subscribed to the Only Wrestlers profile. Maybe it was OWA. Subscribe to because there's two Only Wrestlers Association to see. But now And this is just an idea that just came in like in the last 48 hours or so. So I think it's implemented, but you can pay for a ticket to watch online, but that ticket can go towards subscribing to any wrestler.
Oh,
That's
wow.
that's on the pay-per-view. Any wrestler that's on our show, our Hollywood show. That's what it is. That's what it is. Any of the people that are on the show, Brian Cage and Joe Bruce and everybody. Boom. Yeah. If you can subscribe to them and pay to watch the online show with the same ticket that's only $6.95 for the time being, which will probably change right after the show.
Oh man. Well, that's a great idea, I think, too. And March 20th, 7:30 p.m. The Vermont in Hollywood. You can check it out and get your tickets. And we got Fonzie's going to be there. Brian Cage is going to be there, and
Chris Masters
going to be there.
Masterpiece in a long time. Good friend. He stayed with me in my house for a little while.
Really?
That's how close we are, man. We were like that.
Wow.
Well, like that. We weren't
you weren't intertwined. You were, You were close. You were just two guys together. You're like that.
But good dude. Always got along with him and stuff. Looking forward to seeing him. And of course, like you said, Fonzie. I don't even know who all is on it. The card looks pretty darn good. I think Kerry Morton's on it.
Yes, I think you're right. Kerry Morton's on there. He's doing some good work too right now.
And some ladies.
Yes. Zia Brookside, right? Zia Brookside's on there. I see her.
Jordan Blue on there.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so. Tessa's on there, right? No, maybe not. No, she's just on Only Wrestlers then, right? Yeah, I think or something. But check it out. Go to onlywrestlers.com and check it out. So there we go. Good stuff. Sign on up and get your profile made. There's plenty of names on there you can check out. While you're at it too, you can also check out rvd420.com. Get some RVD glass. Always some good stuff there. The Greek glass guys make. You can check these out. But there's plenty of other product on there too that they do some high quality work on. So be sure to go to rvd420.com and check them out. Also, if you're tuning in right now, be sure to like, subscribe to RVD TV or to RVD's YouTube channel, which we're both airing live on there right now. And if you're tuning in, listening, give us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yes, do that. You can also go to 1tsport.com, get some t-shirts and some merchandise, some exclusive merchandise of Rob and stuff like that, old school ECW look, and some new kind of style t-shirts as well. I think we have a couple super chats in here. Maddie says, Netflix having all the old content, some epic matches come up. Oh, okay. So RVD nearly had a belt. Haha, dildo can sook my left nut. RVD.
Fuck Bad Business Bobby.
Yeah, fuck Bad Business. Maddie also adds, I love RVD's impressions. Dildo on a pole, book it. And he's like, not all superheroes wear capes. Some of us smoke.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
Come here, Bubba.
Oh, so Jeb the Don does chime in. He says, T-minus 42 days until only wrestling event live. That's it. 42 days. Heck yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and that'll be our first test run.
Yeah.
Then we're on. We got to do it regularly from there so that the votes, are all equal and counting, for something. So someone doesn't say, hey, it's 3 months in between, and like if they're voting, it's got to be. First, it was going to be monthly. I'm not sure if we're going to start out monthly, but I think that's what we want to get to. It's got to be regular anyway. So I'm sure my partners are talking about show number 2, but we're not really talking about it yet.
Yeah. Well, you guys got the neat thing too is you guys till Chillicothe. But you guys got like a commentary team all set up and ready to go. And
how about the Chillicothe Crime Crew? That, can you imagine writing that every time we make a meme? We got a hashtag and fucking
Yeah, spelling out Chillicothe.
Fuck that. We gotta have some better.
We gotta think of something.
Anybody have any ideas in the chat room?
You guys got it. You could. This is not. So this would be a reference to the tag team. Would be the Non-Fantastics. The Non-Fantastics. I don't know.
True. But yeah, just out of what it is, and I wanted to have the actual voicemail to be able to help explain it. But when Jackie was / George was telling me, that he had, was hurting the honor of his father's name, who was a hard worker, and he's being like real sincere and open in this, and I'm like, dude, I love you, Jackie, but do I love you more than I love my image, which your brother is shitting on right now? Do I love you more than I hate your brother? I don't know. I don't know what I can do for you, and I didn't say I don't know what I can do for you. That's an afterthought. But I did say, you're asking a lot. He goes as low as fuck, and you're putting handcuffs on me. Not that I would ever go as low as he does anyway, but, you take you back a pretty good piece of weaponry here right now with that hashtag that you're asking me not to do. But I thought about it, and what feels right to me is that instead of trying to figure out leverage-wise, do I respect him more than I hate him, or whatever? But don't even know how you can scale that. But what I did come up with was I definitely respect love more than I respect hate. So that's why I decided, you know what, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. We can think of a different name for them. Something that we'll come up with something clear. I'll do some brainstorming.
Again, it wasn't mine. I don't know if it was.
It was clever.
I think it might have been Jason Sally's, but I'm not sure. There's so many people have been sending in their ideas and contributing, and I got so many memes, and now it'll be a shame. Like, I want to share all the, I even told him, I said, but there's a great one of your brother and his son behind bars, and me standing in front of the bars posing, and it's got the crime family written right up there, and I can't show that. Could we blur it?
Blur it out. I could do some photoshopping.
I thought about that, as an option, but anyway, we got weeks to layer some of this stuff on, and we might have to make every second
weekly segment of it.
True. Yeah, it's gonna be that's what we need to do.
Something like that. Yeah. We'll think of a good name and a good name that we can do a segment of. So.
We could probably say Chillicothe Crime Family once a week.
That's it.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Spelling of it all. That's gonna throw everything off. I couldn't spell it right now. I couldn't spell it off the top of my head.
Nobody can.
Yeah. So help us come up with some names, guys, in the chat. Be sure to hit us up. You can hit Rob up at The Real RVD. You can hit me up at Dominic D'Angelo.
Or if they want to keep calling them that, I'm not even asking them not to. It's up to them. Especially if they understand my reasons, then it's up to them if they feel the same way or not. But Jackie is super cool, and he's right. He never gave anybody a problem. I remember when I was like really, really young, because I started in All Japan in '93, right?
Wow.
I was 22 years old. Yeah. And Jackie Fulton, he wore a mask. He was the Eagle. And he was always, around, and just everybody liked him. He wasn't with the hoods. He wasn't with the office. He was kind of, just cool with everybody and just straightforward. And I remember learning some weightlifting from them, because they would carry around a weight bench, and like an old skinny barbell and some rusty plates or whatever, and they would carry that around on the ring truck, and we would always when we were travel around day to day, when we get to a building, we'd always try and get them to, hey, can you bring the bench out, set it up and stuff. And I remember working out with Jackie, doing close grip bench presses, pausing on our chest and then pushing it up and doing pauses. I learned that from him. Like, I think he called it rest pauses, but you pause it and then, do it. And then, you pause like in between, and you got to, you don't have the momentum. Like, you got to start cold with each rep kind of. But anyway, he's right that, he's a good guy. And so, good outweighs evil.
That's it. You respect for sure. Yeah. I do those too. The pause things. I've been doing those at the gym. I do a half. I cut the reps in half. So I do the 1 reps slow like that. And then I do them fast. And then I switch it up and charge it. So it like kind of like messes up, like, confuses my muscles.
Yeah. And you can feel it more. You go by.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's great.
I do that all the time. Instead of conforming how I used to thinking so many reps and then so many sets, sometimes I'll be like, does it really matter? Like, what if I'm holding the weight for twice as long as I would have if I would have done a 20 rep set, but instead I only got 3 reps because they're so slow? Like, wouldn't just holding the weight for longer affect you more than, just going through the motions? And so I just, a lot of times I just go by the moment and go like what I'm feeling. And I might be doing full curls, and I'll just break them into, I'm just going to do the very bottom rep, and then I'm just going to do the very top rep. And I'm going to go back to full one, fucking it around. Like I've always done that. It's a non-conformist kind of workout, but a lot more so. No, I haven't always. I have for years, but I used to, have to be like, okay, I want to do four sets, 3 of these, and okay, I got to 12, I should stop. But it's a lot. So, that sounds cool. What you doing?
Yeah.
I recorded that and we posted that one workout that I did holding the plate, and I hold it for the whole time. Like, I still often do that, except for more advanced, like a lot of times to warm up, I will, or even if I want to walk away afterwards, I can, but usually I do a few more things. But I'll do 10 or 11 minutes holding the 25-pound plate. And I think, I do curls and triceps and shoulders and fucking steering wheels and fucking shoulder presses and fucking, core, and fucking work my way down my body, doing, do the shrugs and even one arm shrugs, like anything I can think of until the timer goes off. And then I might do 8 or 7 minutes with the 35-pound, same thing, and go up to the 45-pound. Might do 6 minutes, 7 minutes, maybe 5 if I already know that I want to move on to some other shit afterwards. But it's I think for me anyway. I get more out of working than not working, and so without a formula, I just try and like stay working, stay engaged, with a muscle contraction, and then it's like, how could it be bad?
Right. Yeah. And that really like I don't know if you go through this too, but like what I was hearing too is like you do say you do the same sets over and over week after week, and your body muscle group kind of like plateaus a little bit. I don't know though, if you mix it up and you challenge your muscles in a different way and doing that kind of shit, then like you may see some different results. Yeah, like definitely. So
yeah, not that I'm an expert on the bodybuilding scene, but Mike Mentzer is the guy's name. Metzer, and what I've seen of his perspective and psychology when it comes to lifting is fascinating, because he's into like doing, he believes if you do it right, you could just do like 1 rep and have the, and be done. And he believes in slowly what do you call it when you do when you resist the downward movement? I can't remember, negatives, and also holding. So he's one of his workouts that I heard him talking about on YouTube or whatever was holding the contraction as long as you possibly can. And he said that's the best way to grow. And he said that actually doing the positive part of the movement is actually the least productive part out of the whole thing. So he said he believes in like holding it until absolute failure and then fighting it with the negative the whole way out. And he believes that you can leave everything on the floor doing like one rep. And he was a bodybuilder competing with Arnold stuff. I mean, he's jacked. He had enough success in his image to back up everything he said with credibility. So that's, it's just an amazing different perspective. And I don't know all about his psychology. So, if anyone is listening and thinks I fucked up what he said, sorry, but that's what he said though. and he coaches people like that too, like to do just to hold it. When your muscle is at that peak contraction, when it's being used the most. It doesn't work with all exercises because some of them you're more at a rest mode at that same position, and other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're hanging down, hanging over, and doing hanging like curls, then pretty much the whole rep is on you. Whereas, you could be doing something different, preacher curls or something, where part of it is, once you get here, there's a rest part where this, it's not that hard, or you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I get sick of hearing myself talk, dude.
Well, look at Mike here. Holy crap.
Whoa, check him out, bro. Fuck yeah.
Great stash, and he's
look him up. Yeah, look him up on YouTube. He does negatives and holding shit. And just when I watched the YouTube video of him working out and explaining this, it changed my perspective. So a lot of times, if whether I'm like maybe not feeling something or I just want to feel it more, a lot of times I'll just pause like right there and just like hold it for a while. Why not? No one's looking at me. I'm all by myself anyway.
That's it.
Ain't no one gonna say, hey, look at him. He doesn't know what he's doing. But
what's that guy doing?
It ain't about that.
It ain't about that at all. No.
So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. His last name is spelled MENTZER, guys, if you want to search him up.
Okay.
Mike. Yeah, so check him out. Chase added for $2. Chase Chaos KAC. I was looking forward to meeting Vampiro, sad face. When was he gonna meet Vampiro?
I don't know. Maybe that was the canceled show. I don't know.
Oh, mate, you're probably right, Rob. That's probably. Yeah. So
probably a date conflict. I that would lead me to believe that the original show wasn't going to be on the same date as this new one.
Oh, maybe
I don't remember, but that's what my detective instincts tell me, and that the new date is one that Vampiro isn't going to be able to make.
Interesting. Yes.
Maybe because Bad Business Bobby don't have his money.
He don't have his money, or he's just lying, and there's no show.
Yeah, he was never going to be there anyway.
He might not be there anyway.
Never was, never will be. No.
Derek Fisher asked real quick. Now I know you're not a football fan, but are you tuning into the Super Bowl on Sunday?
No, is it this Sunday?
Didn't
we just have one?
So they had the playoffs. The NFL playoffs have been on. So they've been doing stuff week after week with that, building up to the Super Bowl. And but I was curious because I know people sometimes tune in for the commercials.
Right? Yeah. No, but it's in 3 days, like this Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yep. 3 days.
It's so not in my world. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what city is it going to be in.
It's in New Orleans, and then the teams are the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. So ECW Arena, right down the street from them. So
I don't know what field they're. I mean, it's not the First Union Center, obviously, but it's where the Philly Eagles normally play?
No, it's where the New Orleans Saints typically play. So the Superdome, New Orleans Superdome.
Oh, right.
Yep.
See, I got confused. That's why I don't try and follow it. It's too confusing for me.
I'm confused. I'm all confused too now.
Yeah, I might try and tune in to watch the commercials. Like sometimes we try to find it, or Katie might turn it on or want to watch the halftime
show,
whatever. Yeah. But, maybe I don't know what I'm doing Sunday right now.
Yeah,
my brain's tired. But yeah, I didn't even realize, and that's pretty big thing. So who's playing halftime? Who's playing halftime?
Kendrick Lamar is playing halftime. The rapper.
What about Jelly Roll? No Jelly Roll?
I know Jelly Roll because he opened WrestleMania.
He's everywhere. I expect him to be at the Super Bowl. Is he
I know. Maybe he will be. Maybe he will sing the national anthem or something.
He's everywhere.
He is there. He's pretty good. I like Jelly Roll. Yeah. Well, cool. Oh, somebody asked. Chaos asked this real quick. What was it like to be in Saints Row? We talked about that before.
I had a lot of fun with it. I like doing audio tracks.
Yeah.
I like doing it over my own stuff, which is part of film production. They call it ADRs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like after when I do a fight scene in a TV show or whatever, first time I remember doing it might have been when I did the Pamela Anderson TV show VIP, which I think was 97. And I remember it was like 2 days of filming, but then because you get booked by this 2 days of work, but then also you come back for a day and do ADR, which is like automatic dialogue replacement. That's what it is. I don't know if that's exactly what it stands for, but something like that. And that's what you're doing though, is where they need audio, or either sometimes there was an interference, so it didn't pick up a certain noise or whatever, and they want you to say a line again because you said a line, but there was an airplane that they interfered or stuff like that. The fight scenes are fun to do because you do what they call effort noises.
Yeah, effort noises. Is that what they?
Yeah, and that's where it's fun to do that kind of stuff, and then it gets added in. And so with video games, it was a lot like that too, but a lot more free reign though, because with ADR, you got to match it to what's already going on. And so they give you a countdown in a sound studio with the headphones, and you hear like the beep, beep, beep. And you like right when to say, you're, ugh. And with the Saints Row, it was more reading off of a script, interacting a lot with another guy, and we had a lot of fun with it.
I bet.
Yeah, he would the lines were funny, and they were already there, and they didn't mind us juicing it up. I threw in a lot of F-bombs that might not have been in the script, just like, oh my fucking God, you're kidding me. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that's the voice that I did. Something like that, though. You gotta be kidding me. Kind of Hulkish, kind of Hulk and Jesse the Body.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's, I don't know. And I can't remember the characters. I was Bobby because I'm Robert, so it's easy to remember, but I don't remember who the guy was that I played off of, but man, we had a lot of fun just going back and forth, and especially when we would go off script, make each other laugh a lot of times,
That'd be a blast. How'd that opportunity come? Did somebody reach out to you with those that worked on there? Those like a wrestling fan or something, or do you remember?
I can't remember. The guy that is the producer of it, he became, like a friend that I would keep a little bit in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
He had this awesome house where they had the sound studio, but he had a different video game that he was Ascension. That was his dream, and he had this different video game that he was working on, but we used his soundstage. Maybe as a third party location kind of thing or something. I don't know how much involvement he had. I'm not sure with the video game. He was part of it, but in his house, they had the sound studios and stuff, and Ascension was his was it a comic book? I think it was a digital comic book, and he was trying to make it this experience. Like he had really big dreams, and cool guy. Kept in touch with him. I think I probably might have known him maybe before maybe I met him on some production shoot for WWE doing something, and then kept in touch with him over Ascension, and then he got me into the what was it, Saints Row. But I'm guessing though, I honestly don't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to look it up and see who it might have been and how it all worked out. But yeah, Saints Row the third year, I think. The video game. Bobby.
It didn't come through one of my agents because I know I've never commissioned them on it.
Well, I think it's awesome. Like voice acting has to be such a blast. And I think it would be like, yeah, you'd be perfect. I always think this. I was like, you'd be a perfect voice for like a Grand Theft Auto, like one of the characters in Grand Theft Auto or something like that, because they got so many like wild characters. And then I look back at some of the people that did voice it, and there's like some big name actors like Ray Liotta, Burt Reynolds. They were all in Vice City, and then you had Bill Burr in another one. It's pretty cool to go back.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think we did it. Didn't we do some of our voices for wrestling games? Like we had to
I'm
read
sure.
dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do the storyline modes and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure you've done it a couple times. I could almost guess.
I'm kind of picture being like 5-star frog splash.
Hey. They're like, hey Rob, can you use the voice for young RVD instead for this one?
Right, yeah. I'm gonna hit you with a 5-star frog splash. I remember the storyline shit. It was stuff we had no idea what we were, because we didn't know the storyline. So we're reading and it's like, I'm gonna remember this one, Matt Hardy.
Oh, got it.
Into the game.
That's perfect. Maddie asked quite a wild question here. Could Festus play Bob Van Dam, your country cousin? Do you remember Festus? Luke Gallows, when he was the guy that sang.
I know him as Luke Gallows. I don't remember the Festus character.
Yeah, he was like, it was Jesse and Festus. And like he had like this receding hairline, and he was like a mongoloid or something. And when the bell would ring, it would be like he'd start wrestling or something, I guess. But he was like backwoods kind of thing.
I can remember. I can picture him looking like that, but
yeah,
I don't know if I've seen him wrestle. But that's funny.
Yeah. Shit. Well, man, we covered quite the amount here. Half the show was with D-Von, and then we got some Bad Business Bobby news going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your stories with me. And, I have enough to last several weeks, but if you want to continue to send, I'm always interested in learning. Every day I'm learning like more about Bobby, from when he was younger, and so just all kinds of stuff that makes me understand. Like, he's really a scumbag. He's a low life person, and he's got a lot of people fooled, and he had me fooled too. So I don't blame them, But I am just giving everybody a heads up. The guy doesn't give a shit about honesty. He's got his word don't mean shit. And as soon as he's done using you, you're a piece of shit. You never were anything, and he'll trash and attack you. So just, spreading, but don't believe me. Believe all these stories that I will be bringing you during our Chillicothe Crime Family segment.
Yeah. We'll think of something. We're there. Getting there.
Or Bobby Hines crimes. Whatever.
Oh, Candido fan, he asked this. Do you enjoy my Hines? The family shirt he made at WrestleCon.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I did enjoy that. And there was, like I told you, there was a lot of support there.
That's crazy. And you heard it from everybody in the business. The fans.
Thompson, the guy whose voicemail the audio recording came from.
Wow.
the audio recording of him, Bobby. Yeah, because Mike Thompson posted, I guess, on his Facebook a poster for a wrestling show that wasn't Bobby's. That was what that rant was about, where Bobby's giving his sermon. And thank goodness we have it. I'm going to put that on my YouTube page. I don't think it's on there yet. I haven't been paying attention to my YouTube page, but I'm going to share some of this stuff on there too. But anyway, yeah, feel free to keep sending it. Do your part, spread the word. I don't know. I would never tell somebody, hey, don't work for this guy. If you got a job and you want a job, then do your job. You know what I mean? That's just like in WWE. It'd be like, it's crazy. Outsiders would be like, how could you work, like when there's pedophiles there, or there's people, that they were gay. Where do you draw the line? Like where people that you wouldn't work with might not match people that I wouldn't work with. We may not have the same values as far as that goes. We all do have different values.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, guys, thanks everybody for tuning in. We have a great big audience here. So almost 10,000 folks tuning in tonight. So good stuff. So thanks everybody. Thanks to D-Von for joining us for a little bit too, and just catching on up. And I'll be sure to post links for everything that he's got going on too. So, but
cool.
Yeah, this has been a great show, Rob. Good stuff.
All right. Appreciate you, Van Dam fam. Appreciate you, Dominator. I will be in New York for the big event. I think that's my next convention that to start talking about, and we got a few weeks for that.
Yes, big event is March 15th, 2025. So Brentwood, New York. Be sure to mark your calendars.
It's only February 6th. We got a long time till then.
Oh yeah, we got good stuff.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll remind you guys so you don't miss out.
We got over a month to promote that, so we're good to go. All right, cool, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Spread the word, and we'll see you next time here on One of a Kind with guess who? Mr. RVD. See you guys.
Cool, dude.